I mentioned this last hour that Novak Djokovic was asked to leave the U.S. Open. He smacked a ball in frustration that ended up hitting the line judge in the neck. And there's been some debate whether or not he should have gotten ejected, but the rules are clear. I guess the only reason why there's a debate is because the U.S. Open desperately needs Djokovic this year. Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal didn't make the trip to Queens for the tournament. This will be the first time in 16 years that one of those three wasn't represented in a quarterfinal of a Grand Slam. The casual American fan is left with basically nothing on the men's side, and most of us probably can't name a single player in the quarterfinals. I know there's a Medvedev in there, and that's all I know. A couple of decades ago, that wasn't the case. The American men were actually a serious presence. Now there's no one. At least we knew Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. Boy, this is a sport that needs some fresh blood. And maybe Djokovic's brutal mistake will end up giving somebody a chance to elevate, their stardom in a sport that really needs some stars. But I'm watching that, and it happened so quickly. And I know Djokovic didn't try to do it on purpose, but it ended up hitting her in the line judge in the throat. I don't know if we judge how, let's say the ball whizzes by her, doesn't hit her. Now, she went down quickly, but are we judging how much pain she was in? If the ball goes right over her head, do we throw out Djokovic? And the answer is no. But it was an accident. I know that he was angry, and he was warned about this like in 2016. That your temper is going to come back and really hurt. And he got upset when he was asked about this. I think that this is something that's been coming. And maybe it's cumulative. I don't know. But when I watched it, it happened and I go, wait, did he just hit the line judge in the throat? And then he immediately ran over to her to check on her. But the only reason why there was a debate was because Djokovic is the draw. There's nobody else. And I wonder if the fans, so you have a packed house with New Yorkers there. You would have had a packed house and they would have been screaming. And you're paying that money to go see Djokovic play tennis. Nobody else. You're watching him. I wonder if they would have tossed him. Yes, McLovin.
But he wouldn't have done that if he had a crowd because he kind of hit it towards the crowd. He thought he was in an empty stadium, I think, in a way.
Yeah. Did you guys think he should have been tossed for that? Todd?
I was surprised he got thrown out. But again, it's the whole playing how serious was she hurt, which it shouldn't be the case. There's either a rule for it or not. But because she seemed relatively okay and wasn't, I don't think, rushed to the hospital or anything, I was surprised, and especially the number one tennis player in the world.
Yeah, but should I judge whether I throw you out on the severity of your injury?
Ultimately, it shouldn't be that way. But in that moment, I was surprised that he was.
What if she got hit in the shoulder? What if she got hit in the leg?
Well, then even more likely that you wouldn't get kicked out.
Yeah, see.
Isn't that kind of the way all punishments are doled out, though?
A lot of times.
I mean.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Like if you hit somebody with your car, it's an accident. If you hit somebody with your car and kill them, it's, vehicular manslaughter or something. It's a totally different crime with the exact same act.
Yeah. And we would do that with hockey as well. That, sometimes if somebody was going to be out, concussion or, they had a Marty McSorley situation there, then we would almost judge the severity of your injury. Yeah, Paul.
But by his reaction, it appeared pretty clear that he didn't mean to hurt this person. So it was an accident. He hit it too hard. He hit her and she went down. But if you're the lines judge or the official who's running the match who kicked out Djokovic, you have to see in the moment, it doesn't appear that he did it on purpose. He wasn't arguing with some type of side official and did it towards them, targeting them. Hence accident. Hence you leave him in the game, in the match.
But if I hit you in the head with a baseball, I accidentally hit you in the head with a baseball.
Okay, but what if his next serve hit the person in the neck because it was going 128 miles an hour or whatever it is, and he hit someone during the match? It's the same act. The person's getting hit, they went down and they didn't get up.
But they're not waiting for you to hit a tennis ball at that point.
Right.
They know when you serve, they have to be on their toes. She wasn't expecting that ball to be headed in her direction, and therefore that's why she got hit in the throat. Yeah, McLovin.
Yeah, I'm reading the rule. It says basically, if you intentionally hit a ball dangerously or recklessly within the court, or hit a ball with negligent disregard of the consequences. So that explains why a serve would be different.
Yeah. Yes, Todd.
Yeah, I thought after hearing that, like, what about a significant fine and then some type of public apology acknowledging that he's got to do something to control his temper, something other than that it's all over for him. He cannot continue competing in the U.S. Open because of that moment.
This is going to cost him $267,000. So he's been fined an additional $7,500. He skipped the post-match news conference, so that's $7,500 there. The infraction is listed. The minimum fine is $20,000. Also, he can be fined for unsportsmanlike conduct. Earlier was told he had to pay $10,000 for that violation. And then those two fines, in addition to losing $250,000 in prize money for making it to the fourth round of the U.S. Open. He has made $140 million in prize money over his career. But yes,
Don't you think it's crazy that they already had a rule in place for that? How random. Like, how did they already? Oh, by the way, was there a problem with this back in the 80s of people just randomly, firing shots off at different people or something?
But what was Serena fined when she threatened to shove a tennis ball down somebody's throat?
She did not do that, though.
She didn't, but she threatened to do that. That was worse than what Djokovic did.
Right. So the threat has intent, and she knew what she was saying. But, man, that line judge is going to be like the 8th highest paid person on tour this year once this lawsuit is done.
Yes, Tom.
And managers and players get thrown out all the time in baseball. McEnroe and some of the fits that the tennis players have thrown over the years and some of the disrespectful acts, you'd be surprised that none of them got tossed in the middle of a match.
Well, with McEnroe, he didn't get tossed when he gave that "you cannot be serious" the question.
Jerk.
Yeah, they needed him. Yes, McLovin.
But he got tossed, they were saying yesterday, in 1990 Australian Open. He smashed a racket, then went after the judge after getting a warning. He was the last guy in this situation. Is it amazing that he didn't get tossed more?
Oh, man. Yeah.